So, a rectangle is the simplest of the 2D shapes that we need to be able to calculate the area for. The area of a rectangle is calculated by thinking about the base times by the height, sometimes referred to as the length and the width. So the area of a rectangle is base times by height, which in this case gives us 4 times by 3.5, which means that the area is 14 and then some unit. If our question was in centimetres, it would give us an answer in centimetres squared. Remember, an area is always given with a square unit.
So the triangle is always a bit more tricky. It's one that people forget, they get confused. So for the triangle, it's base times height, but we need to remember it is half of a rectangle, so we must halve it, divide it by 2. So the base is 5, the height is 6, and I need to halve it. That 8 is completely nothing to do with it. When it's the diagonal, we don't need it, so just ignore it. It's on there to check we know what we're doing. So 5 times 6 is 30, divided by 2, which is 15. Okay, next one comes up a lot is the parallelograms there.
So a parallelogram, again with this question, like with the triangle, we've got a bit of extra information that we don't need. We are not interested in the slopey side of our parallelogram. What we need again is we need a base and a perpendicular height. So I'm looking for the two measurements that are at right angles to each other. So for a parallelogram, once I've ignored that side, it's as easy as base times by height, base and height. So we're going to look at 12 times by 3 to give us an answer of 36.
Now this last one, this trapezium, is a funny one because it looks like the hardest shape, but it's actually the easiest in many respects because it's given to us. The formula is given in front of the exam papers, there it is, and you even get a little diagram telling you exactly which lengths are which letter. Okay, so first of all let's identify what the A and the B are. Which they're showing you, you can see on the diagram A at the top, B at the bottom. Okay, so we'll write that down first of all. So it's half bracket A plus B, 4 plus 10. Okay, now let's look at the rest of it. I've got this H. Now remember, when there's nothing there, it means multiply. I've got to multiply by the height. Okay, now you can do this in any order. You might have a calculator if you're lucky. We've got to do half of 4 plus 10, so half of 14 times by 6. You can do this whichever, you could multiply first then halve it or whatever, but I'm going to do half of 14 is 7 times the 6, and that will give me an answer of 42. Fantastic, so well written.